Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I want to thank all the witnesses for being here today, and I really do appreciate you coming up and informing us about all these issues and your positions. Mr. Atkins, if I could ask you, do you believe that the current data collection process does a good job capturing data on recreational fishing, specifically on recreational discard data for our reef fish?
Sir, I know that's part of the stock assessment, and I know that its stock assessment based on that has been deemed best available science by those who make such decisions.
So is that a yes or no?
It's the best available, sir, so I suppose that's a yes.
Okay.
It will get better as well.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, if I could, I'd like to ask unanimous consent to place in the record the South Atlantic Red Snapper Council report from NOAA.
Without objection.
To the Council on September 13th, 2022. Thank you.
Without objection.
And Mr. Chairman, that is the report that I referenced earlier, where on page 5, NOAA says, in big letters here, and there is scientific uncertainty, data uncertainty, commercial discards, recreational discards, and this entire conversation revolves around these discards. And so that's why I'm a little concerned when we start to rely on those discard numbers as in driving our policy. So, Director McCauley, if I could ask you, talk about your concerns about the current data collection, also about these high discard numbers, how they're driving this whole conversation, and do you think we're capturing good data?
Thank you for that question, Congressman, and I also want to thank you for all of your efforts to conserve Florida's resources. I would say that the state of Florida is definitely trying to get better data on recreational discards. The state of Florida has the State Reef Fish Survey, which is trying to get targeted information because NOAA's MRIP data doesn't really capture those offshore reef fish very well in their surveys. So we're definitely trying to get better information, and we also think that with NOAA's exempted fishing permits that they say they're going to give to the states in the coming months, that we can get even better data about the discard information. And as you mentioned earlier, that great red snapper count, that's going to get better information about recreational discards in that fishery as well.
Right, and I would point out also to the committee that this bill, the Red Snapper Act, does nothing to impede what the council is already moving forward with in their management of this fish stock. Does nothing. It simply says until you get this new data, you can't take these extreme measures that are going to have, can you talk about the impact that these closures would have, not just on this species, but the taking of the other species as well?
Yes, thank you for that question. So I talked about in my testimony that, yes, there are 55 species in that snapper grouper complex, and the discussion is primarily for Northeast Florida to close down fishing for all 55 species in order to try to get at this discard issue for red snapper. We indicated in our testimony that we're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars worth of impact and over 3,500 jobs alone just on the recreational side.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Chairman, I'd like to go on record. I'll be co-sponsoring all of the bills that I've heard discussed here today. I'm very supportive of where all these witnesses, what they're trying to achieve. And I would like to request that the committee support the Red Snapper Act. We don't need to be doing economic damage to particularly Northeast Florida when we have bad data. We can wait for the good data. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.
I thank the gentleman